I never imagined that pretending to be someone else could change my life so completely. Honestly, when my best friend, Emma, asked me to fill in for her at that event, I thought it would be a simple favor, a harmless impersonation. But by the time the night ended, I wasn't just pretending anymore. I had become her, and, shockingly, everyone loved me for it. It all started on a rainy Thursday afternoon. Emma called me in a panic. "Jamie, you have to help me. I can't go to tonight's gala. My parents are being ridiculous, and my dress, don't even get me started." I hesitated. "Wait, you want me to go as you?" "Yes. You're tall enough, you can style your hair like mine, and you can pull off the dress. Please. I'll owe you forever." I laughed nervously. "I don't know, Emma, what if someone notices?" "You're perfect. Just mimic me, my smile, my voice, my posture. You've got this." Reluctantly, I agreed. I had no idea this decision would be the beginning of a transformation that would completely change the way I saw myself. The moment I stepped into her bedroom, I felt the enormity of the task. Her wardrobe was a rainbow of designer dresses, sparkling heels, and accessories I had only ever seen in magazines. Emma's favorite gown lay on the bed, a deep emerald green silk that shimmered under the dim light. I held it in my hands, my stomach knotting with anticipation and fear. "Okay," I muttered, slipping into the gown. The fabric hugged my body perfectly, shaping my form in ways I had never experienced. My reflection in the mirror startled me. Was that really me? With Emma's makeup applied carefully, her hair pinned and curled just right, I almost didn't recognize myself. But more than that, I felt different. Softer, elegant, alive in a way I hadn't known I could be. Emma giggled nervously. "Relax. You look amazing. Don't overthink it." I nodded, but my mind raced. Every glance in the mirror made me more aware of how foreign this new image was. My lips curved into a practiced smile, my shoulders relaxed, and I adjusted my stance, trying to mimic Emma's confidence. It wasn't perfect, but it was close enough. At the gala, the air buzzed with chatter, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. I could feel every eye as soon as I walked in, every whisper and glance magnified by my nerves. People I had never met smiled at me, complimented my dress, and commented on how radiant Emma looked tonight. My heart raced. One woman approached me, beaming. "Emma, darling, you look stunning. That gown, it's perfect on you." I smiled tightly, my voice trembling just slightly. Thank you. That's very kind of you." Inside, panic gnawed at me. This wasn't just pretending anymore. I was inhabiting Emma's body, stepping into her life, and the attention was intoxicating. Each compliment made my chest swell, each admiring glance made my cheeks burn. I realized with a jolt that I was enjoying it. Over the next few hours, I practiced subtly mirroring her gestures, the tilt of her head, the way she laughed. I spoke in her tone, softened my words, and let my eyes crinkle in just the right way when I smiled. People responded instantly. Friends of hers I had never met reached out to greet me warmly. People laughed at my jokes, complimented my style, and treated me as if I had always been Emma. I caught my reflection in a side mirror and froze. The girl staring back at me was confident, radiant, and captivating. She wasn't exactly me, but a part of me I had never allowed to exist. I traced my fingers along the curve of my jaw, feeling the foreign softness in my face, the smoothness of my skin, the delicate strength in my posture. For the first time, I realized that I could inhabit this persona fully, and that I could like it. By the end of the night, the event organizers approached me. "Emma, you're incredible tonight. Truly, everyone is talking about you." I swallowed hard, nodding politely. "Thank you, it was a wonderful evening." Walking back to the car, my legs ached from the heels, my mind raced with adrenaline, and my chest tightened with a mix of fear and excitement. "I can't believe how easy it felt," I whispered to myself. It was like I became her, and people loved me. The following days were a whirlwind. Emma was out of town, leaving me to continue pretending for minor events, social gatherings, and even a photo shoot for her fashion blog. Each encounter strengthened the transformation. I adjusted my posture, refined my voice, and practiced the delicate gestures that defined her charm. My movements felt natural, my confidence soared, and I began to notice the power of presence. People were drawn to me, smiled at me, and treated me with admiration and respect. Even my closest friends, who knew the truth, were stunned.
Lisa pulled me aside one afternoon.
Jamie, you're incredible. You're nailing her persona, but, more than that, I've never seen you like this.
You're radiant, confident, magnetic.
I laughed nervously. I know, it's weird. I feel like I'm becoming someone else, but I like it.
I feel powerful, beautiful, in a way I never thought I could. She nodded knowingly.
It's okay.
Embrace it.
Just don't lose yourself completely.
I began experimenting more boldly.
I attended brunches, afternoon gatherings, and casual walks through town in Emma's style. The reactions were consistent. People noticed me, smiled, complimented, and engaged warmly. I realized that the persona I had adopted wasn't just about appearance, it was about confidence, presence, and authenticity in performance. Every small success, every compliment, every glance reinforced an unexpected truth. I could inhabit this persona fully, and I could enjoy it without shame. The line between pretending and being blurred. When I caught my reflection one evening, brushing hair from my face and smiling at the soft glow of the lamp, I felt a thrill of empowerment. This version of me, Emma's image combined with my own essence, was compelling, charismatic, and alive. I had discovered a strength I hadn't known existed. The ultimate challenge arrived when Emma returned unexpectedly, midweek, to find me fully immersed in her identity. She froze at the doorway, eyes wide. "Jamie, you look like me," she exclaimed, a mix of shock and awe in her voice. I laughed nervously, twirling a strand of her hair. I've been practicing. People love it. I love it too. She blinked, processing. But this is my life. I stepped closer, meeting her gaze. It was your life, but I've discovered something. Confidence, charm, presence. I can embrace it, and I don't need to hide who I am inside either. Her expression softened. So, you're saying you're enjoying being me? Yes, I admitted, a smile spreading across my face.
But it's not just being you. It's discovering who I can be when I step outside my own shell. And I think I like her.
I like this version of me. Emma laughed softly, shaking her head. Well,
I can't argue with results.
You've made everyone love me. And honestly, you're incredible. That night, I reflected on everything I had experienced. Pretending had started as a favor, a joke, a temporary experiment. But in living as Emma, I had discovered courage, confidence, and charisma I never knew I possessed. I had learned how to command attention, how to move through the world with grace, and how to embrace aspects of myself I had hidden for too long. Even when the fear returned, when people stared too long, when whispers passed behind my back, I realized I could navigate it. Each compliment, each smile, each successful interaction was a reminder that I was more than the fear I carried. I was empowered, radiant, and undeniably visible.
The persona I had adopted was no longer a mask.
It had become a lens through which I could see my own strength, confidence, and beauty. I had pretended to be her, but in the process, I had discovered a version of myself I could love. Over the weeks, I continued to embrace this identity, blending Emma's traits with my own. I explored fashion, makeup, and social interactions boldly. People responded with warmth and admiration, and I learned to navigate the world with confidence I had never known. Even my closest friends noticed the shift.
Lisa smiled one afternoon.
"Jamie, or whoever you are now, you've changed.
You're unstoppable.
People love you, and you love yourself. That's all that matters." I nodded, tracing the curve of my jaw, feeling the unfamiliar softness in my reflection.
I never thought pretending could feel like this. But it's not just pretending anymore. I've become someone I'm proud of.
Someone powerful, radiant, and me. Looking back now, I realize that the act of pretending, of stepping into someone else's life, was never about deception.
It was about discovery. About courage.
About realizing that confidence, charm, and beauty exist not just in how we appear, but in how we carry ourselves, how we engage with the world, and how we embrace our true potential. I pretended to be her, but in the process, I became myself. And for the first time in my life, I was truly loved, not just by others, but by the person staring back at me in the mirror. I was unstoppable. The days after the gala blurred together. At first, I was hyper-aware of every movement, every word,
every glance. But soon, the mirror became my confidant rather than my judge. I began to study myself in detail, how the curve of my lips changed when I smiled, the way my shoulders shifted when I stood taller, even the subtle way my hips swayed when I walked. Emma's persona had been a mask, but gradually it felt like a natural extension of myself. I experimented with makeup in my room, carefully mimicking her style. Each stroke of eyeliner, each sweep of blush, each curl of mascara taught me something new, not just about appearances, but about presence. I began to notice how small gestures changed the way people responded. A tilted head, a soft laugh, a casual flip of hair, attention followed naturally. And with attention came a heady rush of confidence. At first, I kept these experiments private. I didn't dare show anyone yet. But one evening, alone in Emma's perfectly furnished apartment, I tried something bolder, slipping into one of her dresses I had never dared wear. The fabric hugged my body perfectly, accentuating curves I hadn't recognized in myself. I twirled slowly in front of the mirror, and for the first time, I felt beautiful. Not like Emma, but like a version of myself I hadn't known existed. A thrill of excitement ran through me as I practiced my voice, softening tones, adjusting my pitch. Each whispered phrase to myself sounded different, almost melodic. I began to play with expressions, practicing smiles, flirty glances, confident postures. And with each adjustment, I felt a shift inside me, fear mingling with exhilaration, hesitation giving way to daring. The first real test came when I ventured outside, fully dressed as Emma, walking through a quiet street to grab coffee. Every step felt surreal. People glanced at me, some smiled, some whispered. My heart raced, but instead of panic, I felt a strange power. Each compliment from strangers, each approving look, reinforced a growing sense of capability. At the cafe, a barista approached with a grin. "Wow, Emma, you look amazing today." I laughed softly, slightly embarrassed but secretly thrilled. "Thanks, it's nice of you to say." I noticed a small group at a corner table watching me, and my pulse quickened. Instead of retreating, I held my posture, allowed my smile to reach my eyes, and let myself be fully seen. The warmth that spread through me wasn't just from their attention, it was from realizing that I could command it. Back at the apartment, I recounted the experience in my journal, detailing every glance, every reaction, every fleeting thrill. I began experimenting more boldly, changing hairstyles, trying different outfits, walking confidently in heels around the block. Each experiment was a lesson in presence, in how subtle changes could alter perceptions, not just of me, but of how I felt inside. Lisa noticed my transformation over video calls. "Jamie, or Mia now," she teased softly, her eyes wide with surprise. "You're glowing. I've never seen you like this. You seem confident, magnetic." "I know," I admitted, brushing a lock of hair behind my ear. "It feels powerful, scary at times, but thrilling. I don't want to go back to hiding." Her laughter was gentle. "Then don't. Embrace it. Just keep yourself in the process." The next challenge was a weekend brunch organized by Emma's social circle. I was fully immersed in her persona now, complete with outfit, hairstyle, and voice. Walking into the venue, I felt every eye following me. At first, I panicked, but then I reminded myself of all the small victories, the coffee shop, the mirror experiments, the streets I had conquered. Slowly, confidence replaced fear. People smiled, complimented me, and greeted me warmly. I laughed at jokes, offered playful banter, and realized something profound. I wasn't just pretending anymore. I was learning how to engage, how to charm, how to inhabit presence. The persona I had initially adopted as a favor had become a vehicle for discovering strength and charisma I didn't know I possessed. One person leaned closer, whispering, "Emma, you're radiant. Honestly, I've never seen you like this." I froze for a heartbeat, then smiled, letting the warmth of the attention sink in. It wasn't just about appearance, it was about the confidence radiating from within. I had learned that power and allure weren't gifts, they were cultivated. The more I experimented, the more the line between pretending and being blurred. Alone in my room, I would practice conversations, gestures, and expressions until they felt second nature. Each evening, I caught glimpses of someone I didn't recognize yet knew intimately, a confident, radiant, magnetic version of myself, blending Emma's charm with my own essence.
Even minor interactions, like walking down the street or ordering at a restaurant, became exercises in presence. Compliments, smiles, and admiring glances reinforced my growing self-assurance. I began to understand that the persona wasn't a mask to hide behind. It was a lens to explore parts of myself I had never dared embrace. By the end of the week, I realized that pretending had transformed into discovery. I was no longer just acting like Emma. I was stepping into a version of myself I had long ignored, someone capable of commanding attention, expressing confidence, and moving through the world with grace.